What does it mean to be a revolutionary? Does it mean simply being brave in the midst of opposition? Does one become revolutionary instantaneously, or does it happen gradually? Now, if you were to ask me, I'd say that being a revolutionary means that you commit your life to efforts that you believe will positively change the world from its current state. And after reading Assata, an autobiography, I have a new understanding and admiration for who she was. So in this video, I'll cover a few pieces of the narrative that led Assata Shakur to becoming a member of the Black Panther Party. I'll address this idea of freedom as told by Assata Shakur, and I'll end by talking about victimhood. Not only do I believe that this concept is interwoven in the messages of Assata in Autobiography, but I also believe that victimhood plays a huge role in the misconception of teaching and learning about Black history today. So let's get right into it. Assata's story starts off with her almost getting beaten to death by police. From the jump, the reader is seeing her at her worst, being dragged across the pavement, going in and out of consciousness, and when you barely come to, the only faint voices you hear are that of police officers plotting to kill you. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I automatically thought about that wedding rehearsal scene from Kill Bill Volume 1, but I quickly realized that there are two narratives happening in this book. That of Assata Shakur, the woman who is currently being charged for kidnapping and killing a police officer, and that of Joanne Chesimard, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, a young girl who's finding her way in the mean streets of New York. As a young girl, she was raised with very Black beliefs. I mean, her grandmother would say, look, when people are talking to you, you look them in the eye, you walk with your head up, and you believe in yourself. And look, baby girl, you better remember that you're just as good as any of these other white people walking around. And as she grew up, she was trying to find her purpose, just like a lot of us are trying to find it now. And to me, she's so extraordinary because she uses her surroundings and circumstances as a catalyst to become part of a movement, an organization that collectively use their wits and their knowledge to fight to gain something that no one was going to give them anyway: economic freedom. And now, reading some of the stories of the members of the Black Panther Party, I was always brought back to this word freedom. Honestly, it forced me to go back and reconsider what freedom was exactly. Now, some of y'all might think freedom is the privilege and right to pursue your dreams. Yes, but that's not it. For example, in my last video, I mentioned how the Emancipation Proclamation really didn't free Black slaves in 1865. Yes, the chains were off after the Emancipation Proclamation, but where were the resources to help Black Americans pursue their dream? I mean, as a matter of fact, did they even dream? I mean, what's the use of physical shackles being removed when mental enslavement is still well intact? I mean, she brings up documentation on how Abraham Lincoln really struggles with the idea of what would happen if these Black slaves were free in America. Should they just go out to the Caribbean? I mean, he was really struggling with it. It's even documented that he's saying, well, if I'm for it, I don't think the rest of white America will be. However, that's the beauty of what freedom meant to Assata Shakur. Freedom wasn't simply having the chains broken. It wasn't even about the chains. Freedom came when you were able to walk in your purpose in spite of opposition working tirelessly to keep you from it. So based off of this concept of freedom, she was even free in prison. I mean, and believe me, she spent a minute in prison. And I really love this quote by Assata. She says, nobody in the world, nobody in history has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral sense of the people who are oppressing them. And this asks my next point. Once you're free, that changes you and the people that are around you. Now, before she changed her name and became Assata Shakur, she not only had to witness the ugly truth, but also shed light on it. Look, at this point, freedom wasn't able to save up a little bit of money and move out of the hood. Freedom was able to tend to the needs of the hood. And my last point is about victimhood, which is a topic that I haven't addressed explicitly in the Black curriculum. And I believe that in this book, Assata Shakur knows what victimhood looks like very well. She sees it in the inmates in Rikers Island. She saw it in the drug dealers and users. You see, my point in bringing up victimhood in Black history is that it's necessary. It's the diagnosis that precedes the operation. An operation that the Black Panthers were very well able to handle, in my opinion. However, when it comes to teaching Black history, sometimes it feels like you're being beaten over the head with what the white man did or what the white man is doing. And that led me to think of a quote that a friend of mine, Amelia, shared on an Echoes of the Struggle blog post. She said, It is important not to teach that blackness is synonymous with victimhood. If the black history we teach is measured in terms of terribleness, it may be time to diversify our content into a multiplicity of stories from creativity, art, and innovation to joy, humor, and literature of the black diaspora and black thinkers. Yeah, I can see where she's going with her sentiment. I mean, we create culture all the time. We've made great strides and contributions to American history, but to glaze over the adversity in victimhood that black Americans have faced, I think runs the risk of us embracing sort of a post-racial society that we have yet to manifest in the United States. This has been the Black Curriculum.